Before we get started, let me ask you a question. Who do you think were two of the most influential people of the 20th century, and why? Hi, I'm Deacon Steve, and today's reflection is on the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verses 15 through 21. You know, I think we all have a fear of being alone. Growing up, I was always on the lookout for a best friend, someone to hang out with, someone who could listen, someone I could trust with my secrets, someone to give me advice, and someone who would stick up for me. And then one day it happened. I met my future bride, the ultimate friend. And I have to tell you, right away, there were things expected of me. I needed to spend time with her. I needed to respect her. I needed to find ways to show her that I cared for her. I needed to learn to compromise, and most importantly, I had to earn the respect of her parents. And to this day, there are things that are expected of me. But doing things for my wife is not a chore. I don't need a checklist to get them done. Doing things for my wife is simply the currency of love. Today's gospel is set during the Last Supper. Jesus has washed the apostles' feet and given them a new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. He then tells them that where he is going, they cannot follow. And then, using the language of love, the language of betrothal, he says, "In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If there were not, would I have told you that I'm going to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back again and take you to myself, so that where I am, you also may be." Well, the apostles are confused and afraid. But in today's reading, Jesus promises not to abandon them. He promises to send an advocate who will never leave them. This reading, it describes an exchange, a currency, if you will. Well, I think two of the most influential people of the 20th century were Mahatma Gandhi and Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Why? Well, they made it their business to deal in the most powerful currency the world has ever known, love. A currency on which Jesus was focused during the Last Supper. Listen to the number of times he mentions love outside of today's reading. "If I, therefore, the master and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash one another's feet. I give you a new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. As the Father loves me, so I also love you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. No one has a greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. That they may be brought to perfection as one, that the world may know that you sent me and that you loved them even as you loved me. I made known to them your name, and I will make it known, that the love with which you loved me may be in them and I in them. And finally, whoever loves me will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our dwelling with him. Whoever does not love me does not keep my words. Yet the word you hear is not mine, but that of the Father who sent me." Wash, remain, keep, lay down. As you can see, love requires action and is based on a relationship, a friendship. Today's gospel begins with Jesus saying, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments." That is the action we should do out of love for Jesus. It is not a chore. Then Jesus goes on, "And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to be with you always." See, that is what Jesus does because of his love for us. And the reading ends echoing the same theme. Whoever has my commandments and observes them is the one who loves me. And whoever loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and reveal myself to him. You see, this is what sets Christianity apart. Our faith is not based on rules, but on relationship. A relationship with the Creator, a relationship of mutual love. In John chapter 10, Jesus explains, I came so that they might have life and have it more abundantly. God gives us commandments, not to limit us, but to have us live life more fully, more completely. He gives us commandments in order that we live happier lives. At times I forget this, especially when trying to convince people to have faith. I talk about things like Jesus' death and resurrection, and how the apostles were willing to die for this truth. This is all significant, but misses the mark in not encouraging a relationship of love with the Creator and his creation. God desires relationship, and man was fashioned to seek his friendship. During Jesus' earthly life, the apostles could only experience Jesus when they were with him. Now, through the gift of the Advocate, Jesus is continually present through the Holy Spirit. Not only that, but he lives within us, a closeness even the disciples did not experience during Jesus' earthly ministry. Now, we all have lived through relationships that grow stronger and others that slowly fade away. At confirmation, we experience that I live no longer I, but Christ lives in me. But if we forget to find ways to express love for the Creator within us, that confirmation experience fades. To keep our relationship growing, it's important to trade in the currency of love. Besides practicing prayer and meditation, this means washing one another's feet, loving each other as Christ loves us, and looking for ways we can lay down our lives for our friends. We must strive to remain in God's love. Growing up, I was always on the lookout for a best friend, someone to have fun with, someone to hang out with, someone who would listen, someone I could trust with my secrets, someone to give me advice, someone who would stick up for me. Through the Advocate, I now have this on a supernatural level. And not only that, but through the currency of love, I know that I am truly an adopted son. For Jesus said, on that day, you will realize that I am in my Father, and you are in me, and I in you.